All right. I am live, I think. This is all new to me, so everyone please bear with me. So what we have here is our Fire Emblem ships appraisal. These are only hot takes. I'm terrible at shipping. I never like any popular ships. So I'm just gonna go through them. I guess. Maybe wait for a couple more people. I don't know how many people will join. I don't know how many people just watch me because Raymond is there. And I'm used to having a co-host, so it's a little awkward for me, you know? I'm doing my best. There's an echo. Sorry. I'm working on it. I know you can still hear me. I'm just trying to fix the problem. See, deactivate. Okay. Activate. Well, that just switched off my mic. Yeah, I'm thinking I think it's the webcam mic. Thank you all for being patient, by the way. Hello? Was it fixed? Okay, well, if we're working, yes. Thank you for your patience. Sorry, again, all new to me. Yeah, I must have had two mics on. Well, guiding me through my streaming. It was something with OBS, I think. Yeah. Alright, so here's my thing with Fire Emblem, like, as a concept. The fact that you can pair together kind of almost whoever you want based on 3 to 5 conversations means that pairings will have a wide variety of quality depending on how much the writers actually cared about those two characters at that moment. So the first thing to do is you go on AO3, right? You can't see it, but I'll type in Archive of Our Own. We'll go to the Three Houses tag. And Three Houses is interesting in that it has some really good pairings that nobody likes, except for Felix and Annette. which is very based. That's going to be our first ship. So Felix and Annette in these boxes. I say it is based, but it's a little cringe. It's just a little cringe, Like, I think that it's good, but like, when I read stuff about it, like, it's super good. The actual source is super good. But when I read stuff about it, it's like, it's a little cringe. Just a little. It's very based, but just a little bit cringe. So we have to put it on there. Now, because it's Fire Emblem, everything's cringe. So we really have to think, okay, does this really make me feel cringe? When I read fanfics of it, do I feel that telltale tug where I just want to go like this? I don't know. It really does depend. If any of you have Fire Emblem fans, Fire Emblem fan friends, I'm gonna have a lot of takes that they might not like. Just takes. So you might want to get them in here, because I'd love to start something, If I could make someone have a conniption over my takes, I'd say it would be a good night. So next, I'm going to go into the AO3. The most popular pairings always show up first. So Felix is always on there because Felix is a good boy. Felix and Sylvain is next. Now, Felix and Sylvain, I think it can't be based because it's the most common one. And we have to make a category, is it Fujo ship? This is very important. I think it's a very distinct type of pairing. Like, we have the fun-loving, optimistic guy, and then the sheltered, kind of like shrinking loner guy. That's a Fujo ship. Every popular Fujo ship is this. It's Naruto and Sasuke, it's Sora and Riku, it's the green-haired dude from My Hero Academia, and the angry dude from My Hero Academia. I'll update you on those names another time. It is Fujo. It is Fujo ship. And that's a truth that we just have to deal with. Now, you're not invalid if you are into Fujo ship. I think it's very valid. There's been some good stuff from Fujos. I just don't think this particular pairing is anything special. I don't think it's disgusting, so it's just going to go in the boring category. I think it's fair. I think we could all agree on that. Just very, very kind of passé. Next is Dimitri and Bilif. I'm assuming this is female Bilif because there's kind of an unspoken rule that if you're shipping Dimitri with Bilif, it's probably female Bilif. Because Dimitri is, he's a sad boy, and I don't want to jump to this already this early in the stream because it's very heavy. But those girls that like serial killers? It's the same thing. I'm sorry, it's the same thing. Like at a much lesser scale, but it's the same instinct, I guess. For some women to just be into, very nasty dudes. I wouldn't say that Time Skip Dimitri is a good person, but there's that instinct there where you're like, I can fix him. I can fix him. I can change him. And as we all know, the question is, girl, did he poop his pants? So I'm going to put it kind of as just yes. I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with it. I don't think it's cringy. I don't think it's gross. It's too common to be based. And I almost want to call it Fujo shit. Because I know it's a man and a woman, but there's that element there. There's just that element. I don't know if I really want to call it that, but. Next is Edelgard and Violet. And Edelgard and Violet, it's almost always also female Violet. Lots of female Violet here because a lot of girls played Three Houses. Mark Hamill put it best. There's something about villainous voices that females find titillating. It is true. I don't know what it is. Listen. If I ever did a gender reveal party, I think when people do it as like, oh, is it gonna like ballet or hunting? I think that's out of date. Boys can like ballet, girls can like hunting. We're at that point in society. However, if I had to make a gender reveal cake, the boy side would say Roman Empire documentaries, and the girl side would say true crime marathons. I don't know. It's just something about women loves this true crime. I love true crime. So, I also think that's kind of part of the appeal. I would say that's part of the appeal with Edelgard, because Edelgard's insane. We know that. But when you actually go and read Edelgard Byleth fanfics, it is the most boring shit you've ever read. I don't know how, but it's always the most like, oh, fluff, hurt, comfort, it's just so like, it's like, you know when you read Bumblebee fanfics and it's just the same thing over and over? Because nobody ever wants to use the actual characters. It's just all about, like, having a certain paint for your favorite ship scenario. It's the same thing, except there's, like, good characters here. I mean, Byleth is a piece of cardboard, but there's, like, a good character in there. So it is, I'm sorry, it is also a little boring. But there's nothing else really to it. I have zero context as to what is being talked about. I think this stream is more fun if you have no context. But, you know. I'm gonna send this link to a friend of mine. Sarah's, like, heard all these takes before, so she's like, yes, that's so true. She's, like, hasn't even played the game. She's just heard me night after night yell about it. Next down the list is Ferdinand and Hubert. This is just the Black Eagles version of Felix and Sylvain. It is just pure Fujo ship. It is a little bit cringe. I've never actually, like, sat down and read anything of them because that's not my thing. Later on, the cardboard face has a green streak in it. That's a good summary of Byleth. Female Byleth has this energy like there's constantly Wii music in her head. Like the Me channel or the Wii shopping channel. That music's just constantly playing in her head. Yeah, I don't have really anything special to say about Ferdinand and Hubert. Their supports are actually pretty good, but they have that, like, Awakening style support where it's just like, here's a thing that we have in common. Let's talk about it for 5 years. Where, you know, it's okay. Like, I wouldn't say it's anything special. It doesn't really do much for either character. And then we have Claude and Byleth. I have a lot of opinions about Claude that many people would not want to hear. Now, I'm not going to say I'm not like other girls, but I'm one of the few people that I've talked to that does not particularly like Claude. And don't leave the stream yet. Just hear me out. I think in a different game he'd be really good. I think he's a lot of fun. I just don't like him as a main character. Normal Me channel or like the cursed remix? The cursed remix. I think it depends on the route though. Okay, so I think Claude would have been better as like a side character. I just think he doesn't fit well into the story. Like, the Golden Deer route's very removed from the central conflict. It just kind of throws you into something completely arbitrary. And like, you know, that's okay. But I just don't think he served much to the story. So, as far as Byleth and Claude as a ship goes, I can't say much about it because I just don't know anything about it. Like I've never really considered it. The pairings are it's very much like Edelgard and Violet, where it's just kind of like, oh, here's a coat of paint for my favorite ship scenario, and that's kind of it. That, you know, it's nothing special. I'm not gonna call it boring. I think you could do something exciting with it. It's a blank. To me, it's like, it's there. Next up is Dimitri and Felix. This is also, I don't know if I would call it a Fujo ship, because both people in the pairing are angry loners, which is interesting. It's like if you paired Sasuke with himself, except he was better written twice. Wow, Nikhil actually played the Silver Snow route. That is impressive. That is good. That is good on you. I don't know many people who did. I've heard it's just kind of watered down Golden Deer, but like a little more interesting. Dimitri and Felix, I think, is also a little bit of a blank for me. I've never like seeked it out. And Dean, we'll get there. We'll get to Hubert and Petra. We'll get to the rare ships. We'll get there. Felix is great. I just want to say Felix is like probably in my top 5 favorite characters. I just love him. I love how he's like, yes, he is the angry boy, but I like that he makes sense as an angry boy. Like, he's not angry towards people who don't remind him why he's angry. He's really nice towards people who just kind of leave him be. And Sean, we will get to the Ash ships as well, which are there are no bad Ash ships. None. Not a single one is bad. No Ash support is bad. Facts. I think we could all agree on that. I mean, there's probably one I haven't read, but I think they're all good for the ones I've read. Now, next down the list is Dimitri and Claude. Now, that is pure Fujo shit. There is nothing else to it. That is pure Fujo shit. Dimitri x Felix, I'm just going to say, is a little cringe. It's like a little bit like, I want 2 edgy boys. You have to admit to yourself, just a little cringe. I think that you have something going there, but I've never read the work, so I can't fully appraise it. Now we have Felix and Annette, which we've already covered. Very based ship. Probably the best support set in the game, because it does have that awakening flavor where it's like, okay, here's one thing we're just going to talk about for 3 supports, but they just make it work because it's so sweet. It's so cute. It just feels like it just brings a smile to your face. You know, she's singing the songs and then Felix loves them and she's embarrassed about it. It's a perfect dynamic. My Starfish says, I guarantee some lunatic out there ships Ash and Dorothea. I will find that lunatic. I will. I will be angry. Alright, next up, Caspar and Linhardt. I like Caspar and Linhardt as friends. I don't even know if I like them as friends. Their dynamic, to me, is more like that kid that your parent made you be friends with as a kid, and you've just known each other so long, you're like stuck. You know what I mean? Un pequeño cringe. I don't know how to actually say that word, so I probably butchered the pronunciation. Caspar, Linhardt, it's a little boring, if you ask me. I think you could do a lot with the pairing, I just never see anything done with it, and because of that dynamic, yes, it is a Fujo ship. I know I'm putting boring on a lot of these, but it's because we're in the popular ships. That's just kind of how it's going to be. Next up, our first truly like female ship, because, you know, Edelgard Violet could be male Violet, with Marianne and Hilda. And I know this is popular, but this is the first one I'm actually going to rate as a little bit disgusting. Because if you've actually ever watched their supports, I think Hilda treats Marianne like she's this stupid puppy that you could kind of kick around. It just doesn't sit right with me. The difference between cringe and disgusting is, like, cringe is cringe. Like, you're just like, oh, that's kind of stupid. Disgusting is a ship I actively feel repelled by, and that's one of them. Now, we have covered the top 10, I think it is. I'm going to try to see if I can... If I just cancel all of these on AO3, I think I could hit the next top 10. So, the next top 10. Is there going to be a Dorothea golden hour of nonstop cringe disgusting? We'll get to 2 minutes Dorothea hate, okay? We'll get 2 minutes Dorothea. Marianne deserves better. The best Marianne ship is probably with Dimitri. We'll get there. I just want to get through the top 20 first, and then we can discuss our small little precious gems that we hold dear to our hearts. So, more Dimitri. We have Dimitri and Dudu. I love Dudu. I think we all love Dudu. I think we could just agree I don't know if I'd call it based. It's not rare enough that I'd call it based. It's a very, like, common setup. You know, you have the master and the liege. Or not the master and liege. You have the retainer and his liege. And it's just kind of like, yeah. I don't have anything against it. It's not a Fujo because of the dynamic. So we move on. We might need a pairing for just... I'm just going to say if it's, like, neutral, you know? So, like, I'm just totally neutral on it. We have Violet and Seteth. I'm not going to test... I think that's for a certain type of woman who's into older men, and that's just kind of what it's for, you know? I like Seteth. I think he's funny. I like Flane a lot. I think everybody loves Flane, though. We have Sylvain and Ingrid. Now, this is a rarer ship, but it's one of the first... I don't know if I want to use the base just yet. It's a little based. I'm biased because I like this pairing, but the like, kind of flirtatious guy and the stern woman is a tale as old as time pairing, and they develop it well, I think, because as the war progresses, they kind of start taking each other more seriously. Like, you know, like they actually really start... They always care for each other, but now it's just kind of like they're putting their differences aside and really looking out for one another. I like that. It's nice. It's just nice. Not Fujo. I think we should have nice. Like, it's just nice. I gotta say that's the first nice one. Next, we have Claude and Lorenz. That's just disgusting because Lorenz is there. I don't think anybody's going to hate me for that. Felix and Bilif. That's just kind of nice because it's Felix. And, you know, you gotta love the guy. Never forget how Sylvain tried to flirt with this scarecrow. He's challenged, okay? Special. He's a special boy. Dimitri and Sylvain. You already know it. Dimitri's there. It's a Fujo ship. It's the Blue Lions. I don't know what to tell you. Something about the Blue Lions. Probably because there's 5 men. And 3 of them are childhood friends. You know, the legendary. I think it's kind of boring though, because I'm just tired of that dynamic. Oh, here's one I could really sink my teeth into. We got Dorothea and Petra. Now it's time for 2 minutes Dorothea hate. I'm sorry. I know it's a really popular ship. This is... this is one of my least favorite ships in the game. I originally liked it a lot, and then I realized 2 things. A, it's boring. Like, the content's pretty boring. B, I hate their supports. Like, when you actually go and read their supports, the worst thing I think a support can feel is unearned. So, if you actually go read their supports, the C support and the B support is like 80% it's Dorothea talking, and Petra has no idea what the hell's going on. And then the A support is like, you're the most important person in my life, I love you, move back home with me. And it's just like, okay. It just doesn't feel earned. A lot of Dorothea's, like, here's my thing about Dorothea. My theory is that 2 people wrote Dorothea. You have whoever wrote her monastery dialogue and her Byleth supports. I think those are really good. That makes her she's a very good character in those. And then everything else, I think that her Petra support is awful, her Felix support is awful, her Yuri support is atrocious. Her Edelgard support is one of the worst things of wasted potential in the game, because it's always the same thing. She acts like a creep or a weirdo. She's manipulative, she's pushy, she has no boundaries, and then she's rewarded for it. Like in her Felix support, she just annoys him, and then all of a sudden he's like, oh, you're actually super cool. And it just feels like the pipe dream of some loser on Twitter who's like, I bet all the girls would love me. It just feels like that. You know? Oh, also her Ingrid support fucking sucks. I hate it. I mean, it's funny. I hate the ship. The supports are good. I hate the ship, because it's just, her B support with Ingrid literally ends on Ingrid saying, please never talk to me again. Go away. And yes, she did single-handedly ruin Yuri's perfect support record. Yuri's supports are great until you hit that one. Anger. Rage, even. That was 2 minutes Dorothea hate. So, I'm gonna put it as, it's not just cringe, it is disgusting. And I'll tell you why it's disgusting. Because it just feels like... It just feels like this person, like, I know I'm, like, looking into it a lot, but it just feels like she's taking advantage of her, if I'm being honest. Like, it just feels like, oh, here's this, like, young foreign child I could make an impression on. And it just feels icky. And yes, she gets the pass because, oh, she's the gay character. And she's not even, she's a bi character, but she's one of those bi people that thinks, oh, well, that means I could be terrible to both sexes. Which is not how that works. If you acted like Dorothea in real life, you would inevitably get your jaw broken by a very angry man or woman. And that's facts. Alright. Now, onto a ship I actually think... This is gonna get our first base. Or our second base, really. This is Dedue and Ash. Dedue and Ash, yes, it is Fujo. But you know what? It's based. I love it. Their supports made me cry. I lost like 3 viewers after hating on Dorothea. You know what? That's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. But Ash and Dedue, just... Their supports, their A support is so good. Yeah, that's my thing. If she was more obviously meant to be hated, she'd be a much better character. Because that's the thing, they write her like she's always in the right, like she always gets rewarded for what she does. When she, like, forces, like, when she manipulates Yuri into performing into a play, she's, like, rewarded for that, and he's like, yeah, that was actually good. Like, no, that's not behavior you get rewarded for in a story. It just doesn't feel right. It's just... Oh, anger. Ugh. Like, I used to like her until I read more of her supports, and then I just became rage-filled. Oh no. Okay. Lysia and Claude. You know what? That's nice. No, I've been putting the man first the entire time. Claude, that's Lysia. I'm not gonna say it's base, but it's, like, nice. Dorothea and Edelgard, I mentioned that's a pairing with, like, really missed potential, because there's a war going on in the A support, and they just flirt. There's a war going on. There's a fucking war. And they even touch on it. They're like, yeah, the war, I've been having a lot of trouble. And it's like, ooh, is it because you like someone? No, because there's a war going on. Some stories have war in their plots, which is usually, I think I say it, fanfics and not actual supports in a Fire Emblem game. Ash and Wolf ships? I'll get to Ash and Wolf ships. I like the Ash and Wolves. I like how they exist, like, just under the monastery, and nobody questioned that for a very long time. I think that's just really great planning, if you ask me. Alright, everybody, what are you afraid of? Ash is like, I'm afraid of ghosts. Edelgard's like, I'm afraid of rats. And then Bernadette is like, I'm afraid that there's a burly 26-year-old man living under the monastery with a long history of violence. I love the Ashen Wolves. Alright, so we've made it through the top 20. Made through the top 20. What pairing should I appraise next? Gonna wait for stream to catch up. There also was supposed to be a chat box. I realized I probably screwed that up. Please excuse me, I'm just a little bit stupid. Just a little stupid. Gatekeeper ships. I don't know gatekeeper ships. I don't actually know those. Yuri and Ingrid. Yuri and Ingrid is based. That is such a base ship. It's the only time where we actually get Ingrid's love of food. And she really likes a good steak. That's what we learn, and it's very near and dear to me. It's an important pairing. Bernie and Raphael. I think that's also cute. I'm not gonna say it's like super based. It's definitely nice. I don't really know their supports by heart. I could go check them real quick. Because the Fire Emblem Wiki moves pretty fast like that. Those are pretty good. Bernie and Caspar. You know what? I give you... There are... I don't think Caspar has bad ships. So... Okay, I don't know that one by heart. Okay, so when I played through Black Eagles, I had, you know... I said I was stupid. Here was my strategy with the Black Eagles. I had 3 mages... 4 mages, maybe 5. You had Hubert, you have Linhard, you have Dorothea, and you have... I got Lysia. So, I had a lot of long range. I think I used Bernie a little, but I didn't use her a huge amount because I had so much long range. Ugh, I want to scroll the spreadsheet, but I know that there's like a way to lock cells. I know there's a way to do that in Excel. I don't use sheets that often. What goes on in the Bernie and Caspar ship? Like I remember the C support. Yeah, that's the B support. You know what? That one is nice. I'm gonna say that's based. I'm gonna say based. If it's based, it's nice. I don't think you could... I mean, like... If I was doing, like, Claude and Hilda, right? That's a based ship. It's not a nice ship. It's a little cringe. It's a little disgusting as well. Because they're both disgusting people. Bernie, Caspar are Minecraft girlfriend and boyfriend. That's true. That's great. Alright, Raymond is giving me some advice in DMs. Thank you, Raymond. What else did I see on here? Ash and Annette, It's an Ash ship. It's a good ship. I remember that one because that's the one they do math. They're doing like Physics 1. It's great. All right. I know gatekeeper ships. I don't... What are the gatekeeper ships? It enlighten me. Enlighten me while I check on baseball scores. Yankees are scoreless. The Nationals are winning 2-1. There's a lot of good Bernadetta supports. Raymond's favorite is Bernadetta and Petra, which I'm like, I think it's like kind of cute. I think their supports are really funny because Petra has no social skills, even beyond like language barrier. I think she's just a little off. I could put that on here for my good buddy Raymond. It's just nice. Rhea and Taxes. Thanks for the tits. They're tithes, however, you know what I mean. Top ship is Ash and Happy. Oh, that's a good one. That's such a good one. Yes, that is based. If you haven't seen that one, if you haven't seen Ash and Happy, basically what happens is like, is that the one where he keeps getting her? Yeah, that's the one he keeps getting her books from the library that are like risque, and she gets into them. It's good stuff. I mean, again, no bad Ash supports. I also don't think there's bad Dudu supports. Dudu is just good. I love Dudu. Yeah, every Ash ship is based. I think somebody brought up Ash and Caspar. I'm personally neutral on that. But yes, it is based. What else? I wonder if I just like keep going and I keep going on AO3 what I'll find. What are the rarest ones? Yuri and my unit, Yuri and Bilif. If Ash and Doro had a support, would that be based or disgusting? Good question. It really would depend. Is Ash being a good character enough to balance out Dorothea? We tried that with Yuri, and the answer was no. You can't balance it out. Seth and Flane, no. Hubert and Petra. Now that's a base ship. That is a funny ship. I love that because the Black Eagles hate each other. Right? They just, like in their C supports, they all kind of hate each other. So it's fun to watch them grow from that. And that's one that's just really funny, because Hubert's just kind of like, you'll never be as good as Edelgard, and it ends with Petra being like, yes I am! You're choosing me in the end. And it's perfect. I have a lot of feelings to that ship. Also, if they had kids, the kids would be untraceable. They would be like shadows. I don't think it's a nice ship. I just think it's based. Did we do Hubert and Bernie? Because that's another really good one. Be consistent here. See, now we're getting to all the based ones. I think it's nice too, because it's just, they're just like anytime where Bernadette is like pulled out of her shell, that's a nice one. Happy and Constance, I don't think I've read. Where are my Happy supports? Happy only has like 8 supports. That's so sad. Oh, I know. I now remember this one. Love the Ashen Wolves. They are the rats. Rats, they are the rats. There, I made the reference. The Worm Girl. Worm Court is now in session. All writhe. It's Happy's power. I'm gonna say that one is nice. I had a friend who really liked Hubert and Bernie, and like, it just feels right. Like, the really scary person and the really afraid person being together. You're like, yeah, that checks out. Alright, what else is there? Oh, I haven't covered Dorothea Ingrid yet. Okay. I just realized, like, it was next on the ship, on the pairing list. Disgusting, cringe. I didn't say it's boring, but it's definitely disgusting and cringy. And if you think that's a good pairing, I usually don't say, if you think this is a good pairing, I don't like you, because that's ridiculous. Because it's just fiction. However, if you, like, sat there and read a support where one party is just actively being creepy towards another party, and the other party says, don't talk to me again, because you're being creepy. And then you're like, yeah, because when you read the Ingrid Dorothea supports, it's like, oh, Ingrid was just repressed, or she's like, just was afraid. Like, no means no. Like, it's a ship that just gives me the Hebes and the Huberts, and it just doesn't feel right. Does not sit right with me. Marianne Raphael. I did not play Golden Deer. So you will have to enlighten... Oh, is that the one where she's just talking to birds and he tries to talk to birds too? Yes, that is that one. Happy does just have good supports, it's true. They hit the ball out of the park with the Ashen Wolves. They're just good characters. I like how we're hitting all the base ships now. What is next on this list? Ash and Felix. I don't know. That gets a hard neutral from me. It's also a Fujo ship. It's a little cringe. Just a little. No, I'm not gonna say it's cringe. That's rude. Edelgard and Hubert, just trying to be consistent here. Edelgard and Hubert. I can't truly say if I like that one. It does feel a little weird. Not gonna lie. Chat will have to help me on that one. I'm gonna come back to it. Dimitri and Edelgard is... It's like, oh, okay. It's a little cringy. So I wouldn't say it's boring. It's a little cringy. I'm just kind of neutral on it. Why are there so many Linhard Byleth ones? Who likes Linhard? Like, no offense to Linhard fans. It's just, I don't know many of them. Linhardt's cool. I just... It's a little boring, that's all. Oh yeah, Dimitri and Edelgard are step siblings. Okay, it's a little disgusting, just a little, because, I mean, they haven't been step siblings for like 7 years. Linhardt's one of the canon gay options. I mean, I know, but like, I haven't seen people are like clamoring for him. Hubert Edelgard is like if the guy who kept asking got the yes after 5 years of asking. It's just like, bro, you're her friend, stop it. It is a little cringy in that regard, yeah. And then we did Hilda and Claude already. Sylvain and Bilif. Sylvain actually has really good pairings, like good supports with Bilif, if I'm remembering it right. Because Sylvain has really good supports in general. So it's I mean, a lot of people, so it's a little boring, but it's nice. Violet and Hubert. I guess if you're into vampires, it's fine. I think if you're still into vampires, it's a little bit cringy. Okay, that's mean. If you're like into that type, you're into that type. Just neutral on it. We're like getting down to the boonies of AO3 right now. And if I just kept going, where will I end up? We're getting to pairings that only have like 100 odd entries on this website. Oh, we didn't cover Dimitri Marianne. That's right. Now, did we? We have not. I can't believe it's so down low on the list. Oh my gosh, it's so good. It's so good. It makes my heart just full of love for this pair. It's just hard eyes. It's nice, and it's based. I think part of a ship being based is like it's also good development for the characters. Yeah, so Sylvain, like, here's the thing about the difference between, like Sneck compares Sylvain with Dorothea. The thing is that Sylvain kind of learns. Like, in his supports, he grows and he stops. He's not rewarded for his behavior. That's the difference. That's why I like, not just I like him, that's why a lot of people like him. And he has kind of more of a reason to act the way he does. You really understand why he acts like he does, because he has the whole, like, expectations on him and everything. Ferdinand Dorothea? Oh, Ferdinand and Dorothea is, like, the one other pairing I think was written by the good person. I feel like we need another category for just, like, it's lovely. And that's Dimitri and Marianne. It's lovely. We could also say that about Felix and Annette. There's love in it. There is so much love in it. I'm gonna update a few of these to be lovely. Ferdinand, Dorothea, so part of what makes a good support is if there is the development, if it's good for the characters. That's, I think, one of her only supports where she actually kind of looks at herself and says, wow, I was not treating this person properly because of preconceived judgment. And then, you know, she actually seems to correct herself. The ship that has yes in every category. We will find it. There is going to be a ship that's both based and disgusting. I think Ferdinand and Dorothea is a little cringe because Dorothea's there. But I'm overall neutral. I ship the person who drew the Petra in my thumbnail. I ship her with Ferdinand because she loves Ferdinand. Yes, Dimitri and Marianne would sit in a park listening to Animal I Have Become. They're listening to the full discography of 3 Days Grace and Evanescence. That was their wedding song, actually. Let's see. Edelgard and Claude just feels like nothing. Like, you're just doing it because they're two characters that exist. So it gets a very hard neutral from me. What else is here that's interesting? Catherine and Shamir is fun. It's nice. Felix and Annette fills out most of the categories. It's based in cringe. Yeah, but it's not, like, disgusting. I'm sure there's disgusting Felix and Annette content out there, but... you know, it's probably few and far between. Sylvain and Bernadetta. I hate that they don't have an A support. They deserved an A support. It's one of the few pairings where I'm like, they needed an A support. It's nice. I wouldn't say it's lovely, but it's very nice. It's disgustingly sweet. I guess so. Geralt and Rhea seems pretty cringe. Yeah, it would be. I don't think anybody pairs that. Someone does pair that. I have a lot of questions for them. Violet and Rhea. It's opening up a can of dudes, as they would say. I don't know if I could touch that one. It's weird because you're, like, related to her in a very roundabout way. And you know, she had other plans for you, like turning you into a vessel to revive her mother. So, I'm not sure. Like, Rhea's cool. I think, like, I just don't know if Violet and Rhea is a good pairing. I know it's possible. And it's very weird that it's possible. Because it's like... Remember in Fire Emblem Fates, how you could marry Azura, and then, like, in the DLC, it's like, yeah, by the way, she's your cousin. And you just have to accept that. Just not gonna touch that one. Now we're getting down into things that only have, like, under 100 entries. We have Sylvain and Claude, which just sounds like a nonsense ship, so it's going in neutral. Byleth is Rhea's grandkid and mother. I think we could file that under disgusting then, right? Like, I'm not crazy. Like, it's a little gross and a little cringe. Do Sylvain and Claude even support? Let me check. They do not support. He supports with Leone, which I've never read. There's, like, someone out there that ships Sylvain and Leone, though. There's someone. There's always someone. Sylvain and Mercedes. That is such a good... Sylvain and Mercedes is, like... Sylvain says, like, 5 things, and she's like, well, based on what you've said, I've deduced that you were traumatized exactly 8 years and 3 months ago, and since then, you have never been able to form meaningful relationships. She just reads them like a book. It's awesome. Felix and Leone is so funny. It's very cringe, because they end up as clowns together, and that's canon. They get the special category. They get the clown category. But only outside the Blue Lions route they can get the clown category. Mercenary work became scarce. Felix became a clown. Dimitri and Ash, that just sounds like Fujo shit, so... That goes into the Fujo category. It sounds a little boring, I'm not gonna lie. Any good ships with either Bernadetta or Ferdinand. Bernie has Hubert, she has Raphael. Ferdinand has one of the very few good supports with Dorothea, so he does get that. He does. Don't make me hate Leone. Please don't make me hate Leone. I love Leone. I've never, like, used her ever, because I never played that route, but, like, you know, I like her. Leone Pinelli. She's walking around in her gold chain and her Knicks jersey in Deer Park, Long Island. Leone Pinelli. Yes, Mercedes did murder Lorenz. That is the Mercedes Lorenz B support is one of the best supports in the game. It's just an absolute onslaught. I've never seen someone murder somebody else with words to that extent. In a Fire Emblem game, at least. Dorothea and Byleth. We've discussed that. It's her other good support. She technically supports well with Sylvain as well, but it's like... I'd say it's nice. I married Dorothea my first run because all I knew about her was the Bilif supports. And then I was like, wow, this is a good character. And then I read her other supports, and I was like, this is not a good character. My real character development between the release of Three Houses 2 years ago and now is me learning to dislike Dorothea. Because her Violet supports are really nice. And it like says a lot about her character. And then all of that just goes nowhere in her other supports. Linhard and Bernie? Linhard has a lot of... He's like a sleeper good character. He like, and I don't mean that as a pun. I mean that as like... He like, low-key has some really good supports. This is nice. I like this. This is nice. Man, I would hesitate to put Dorothea and Violet in the lovely category. It's just a little boring. Because like everybody does it their first run through, so. Shamir and Caspar, now we're getting to the really obscure shit, because Dean's just making things up at this point. But, you know? Wait, do they support? Like, now we're getting to stuff I don't even have memorized. Oh my god, he does support with her. That's so based. Best supports? I would have to go through everybody's supports before I did that. I have a lot of time this summer, so that could be a thing. That's so based. Yeah, in terms of supports, Ash would be S tier. Yuri would be S tier. Annette would be S tier. There's some good Hilda supports, but I don't think there's enough of them to call her S tier. She has a lot of funny ones. Yo, Edelgard and Lysia? I don't know what to feel about... Because if you read their supports, they actually pair very well together. So I'm just gonna say that's nice. Any good to-do ships? All to-do ships are good. All of them. Except for Dimitri. But there's so many good to-do ships. To-do is special. Blue Lions are well written. And they are fun. Caspar and Hilda. Caspar and Hilda just... They like straight up like do it at the end of the A support. I'm not joking. If you read it, that's just what happens. So I gotta say it's based. They are both Alois and Dimitri. I don't know anything about Alois. I never used him. All I know is his Petra support, where Petra learns what a joke is because she didn't know what that was before. Damn, he has 3 supports with Dimitri? I don't know how to feel about this one. Petra also didn't know what haggling was. That's true. I have the card. It's my favorite, like, I don't know anything about the card game. But Sarah did get me, this. This is Petra harassing the merchants, immortalized in card form. It's just a perfect card. This card grants +5 to merchant harassment if you play it. Petra functions on kill words. She heard the kill word and went for it. That's also really good support, by the way. I had to put that down. It is a lovely support. I will say it's lovely. It's very funny. I'm gonna take a long shot and say that Sylvain isn't as bad upon first glance. Sylvain is excellent. Sylvain would be an S tier for support quality. Actually, I'm gonna take away the lovely, I'm gonna put it in nice. It's nice. Ash and Petra's nice. It's like, they have really funny supports because it's just kind of like, Petra witnesses Ash haggle, and she thinks that she just witnessed, like, witchcraft. Sylvain is great. Twitter just dismissed him because he's horny and not a woman. That's facts. It's kind of like how like, Ingrid is, like, starts racist, but then she learns to better herself, and she's like, actually racism isn't good, but people still write her off just because of how she started, but, like, Hilda's just straight up racist and never does anything about it, but she gets a pass. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Things that anger me. What is next on this list? Ash and Yuri. I've never even read the supports. I'm sure they're fantastic. But now we're just hitting the point where I've never heard of these. Ingrid and Mercedes, where am I? We're in the boonies. These are the true boonies. Lorenz and Raphael. It's disgusting. You see this shit, Hill Doge? I didn't put that one on the slideshow at the beginning. I'm gonna beat myself up for that later. It's such a good one. Hilda's an airhead racist and Ingrid's a serious racist. Okay, let me stop you there. Ingrid legitimately thought that a certain group of people had basically ruined her life and her kingdom. And then she learns that probably that it's wrong to judge an entire group of people like that. And she grows up. Hilda goes up to Cyril and is just racist. And that's it. Ash and Yuri don't support. What? Wait. They don't. That is really weird. Because they know each other. Huh. Like, looking through these fanfics now of just the remaining pairings, and there's 9,000 still. We eliminated the first, like, 30 or 40 ships, and there's still 9,000 there's 9,000 fanfics to go. No one likes Cyril. Yeah, no one likes Cyril, but that doesn't mean that it's okay to be racist to him. it doesn't matter if there's not enough context behind Elmira to give them any reason to be how they are. Seriously, what's up with Elmira? Like, they throw themselves at the border wall and die. And we don't know why they're trying to get over. But I don't know. Raphael and Leone. Now you're hitting me with the Golden Deer ships. I wonder how many writers it took to write all these characters. Like how many characters can one person write? In Final Fantasy VI, they had each person write like 2 or 3, and then another person to kind of get it all together. I don't know. Raphael and Leone. It's like okay. I've just ignored Ignatz. You're right, I haven't put down Ignatz for anything yet. Well, no, I'm not ignoring Ignatz. AO3 is ignoring Ignatz. You have to discover writing tics. I have to find the bad writer, and that's the person who wrote Dorothea's supports. Ingrid and Edelgard, we really are just in the backwoods. Yes, I'm 22. Yes, I get sleepy at 9 p.m. Yes, we exist. Oh man, I hit one of those fanfics that's like... You know those fanfics where it has like 20 fandoms in it? And like 8,000 ships? And then 8 Gorillion tags? That's what they used to keep the Huns out of China. Ferdinand and Hilda, I don't even think they support. Balthus and Leone. It's I don't even know what to think about these, because I've never even considered these pairings before. Watching Shamir Caspar, the shit's godlike. It's a good pairing. It's weird saying that I'm 22. I feel like, so I'm the youngest in my family, so it like feels weird that I'm like, oh, you're like an adult now. You know? Felix and Bernadetta. Okay, that's a good one. Yeah, those mashups that are like Harry Potter x Ash Ketchum x Mickey Mouse x Morshoe. Dude, I love Morshoe videos. Oh, it's so based. That is a lovely pairing. Like, they're just lovely together. Manuela and Hanneman, Manuela and Sedith. You're talking to me like I actually used any of the teachers in any of my playthroughs. So chat's gonna have to help me out there. Are they good? I mean, it's Manuela, so she's a mess. She's always gonna be a mess. I don't know what to do with those yet. Felix and Lysithea is very cute. It's Felix is involved. It's just good. That's also lovely. Lorenz and Leone. I don't know anything about that one. Oh, Linhard and Lysithea. That's a good one, because that's one of the few Lysithea supports where she lives. Like she lives a full life. So that's very based, because anything where Lysithea lives is good. I'm gonna say I'm neutral on both the teacher pairings, because I don't like personally have an opinion on them. I love Dean in the chat just being like, holy shit, I have a new pairing. It's funny pairing. Manuela and Hanneman both hate each other, but are also willing to help each other. That's cool. It's nice. Checking my baseball scores again. The Nationals are up 3-1. Yankees are still scoreless. Raphael and Shamir. I don't know enough about Raphael. Yuri and Crime, great support. Great pairing. Really brings out the best in Yuri, if you ask me. Yuri waits by the super greats at Garrig Mach, waiting for somebody to drop their makeup palette so he can update his eyeliner. I wish I could use eyeliner like Yuri does. Raphael and Shamir support? It's like okay. Like, I just read it, it's okay. Yeah, you people had better not be mocking sports on my streams. Ooh, sports ball. Look, some of us have hobbies. I love baseball. Like neutral on it. I don't think those supports were anything special, the Raphael Shamir supports. How many pairings are we at? Dean's like losing it over Caspar and Shamir. Well, we both have We both love Caspar. So. We are at 62 ships. I don't know what I'm doing with my life, but I am having fun. Now, I haven't said it yet. My personal favorite ship in the game is... my, like, weird personal favorite ship in the game is Petra and Kaspar. I think they just work together. Like, they have a thing that they have to work through, and then they work through it. And that's cool. It's cool. That's very cool of them that they did that. And I just think they have a good dynamic. It was fun watching them, like, struggle through that. And Petra's my favorite character, so it all works out. Caspar's like my second favorite character. Obviously, I have very high opinions of this pairing. Of course, nobody writes anything for it. And that's just the thing I have to deal with. Did I already do Petra and Claude? I have not done Claude and Petra. So that ship reads different than it sounds. Like, the way... I don't know if it's just... I don't know if Josija intended it, but the way Claude talks in that support is like he's humoring her. Like, he's just saying what she wants to hear. If you read it, it sounds fine, but when you actually listen to it, it's like... it's a little weird. I do like Petra in the A support effectively saying that her grandfather told her to find a white boy, and her plan was to tie one up and take one home. She's interesting. Petra seems like such an easy character to write material, though. She is, because there's a lot going on with her. But people only pair her with Dorothea, basically, and it's frustrating. Because that's it's not just a cringe pairing, it's a boring pairing as well. I need to go back to it. I need to put it down as boring, because everything I read about them is just boring. Like, when I used to read that pairing, it was just boring. I wouldn't say Claude Petra is base, but it's, like, nice. Like, neutral on it, but it's nice. Not many people write material for it, but I could see a lot being done. He does learn how to climb a tree for her, that's true. So that part was genuine. What are some good Dorothea ships? She has 2.5. She has Bilif. She has Ferdinand. And I need to check over it again, but I think her Sylvain support's good. Everything else, Garbo. Bilif and Sothis. I like that Sothis is just a mind gremlin. Like, she's an all-powerful being and also a mind gremlin. Bilif, wake up! You fucked up big time. Linhard and Petra. Did we do that? We did not do that. Linhard Petra? It's, like, good. I wouldn't say it's based. Just nice. It looks like the same as Claude and Petra. It's just nice. Like, she does not have... She has, like, one bad support, and it's with Dorothea. She's... Like Peter said, she's easy to write for. It's very hard to screw her up. What's wrong with Dorothea Caspar? It's something about her persistence that just puts me off. Like, it's just weird. It's a very awkward pairing. Like, their B support's super awkward. It's cringe, I'm sorry. So this. Yes. Oh, I love the Whooper edit. So this. I think it's somewhere on my phone. My Fire Emblem folder has how many photos? 737. Mercedes and Dimitri. Ooh. Ooh, that's a good one. That is a very nice one. I wouldn't push it into the lovely category, but it's very nice. It's very hard to be in the lovely category. Did I ask about Hubert chips yet? We covered some Hubert chips. Hubert's underrated, in my opinion. I think a lot of people are just put off from him, so they don't use him as much. Trying to see if there's bad Caspar supports. Besides the one with Dorothea. Oh, Caspar and Annette's that's such a good one. That's such a good sleeper ship. They're just two kind of hyperactive and fun people. You can't hate it. Yeah, Hubert's only in one route. That doesn't help either. Go Black Eagles. They were my first route. I'm very biased towards them. We covered Caspar Hilda. It's a good one. A lot of these are just kind of down as nice. Need to push a couple of them up to lovely. Caspar Ash we covered as well. That was another good one. Because it's Ash. He's so cute. I wish he was a good unit, but he's so cute. I think Sylvain and Mercedes should get the lovely category, because it is lovely. I just saw Dorothea and Marianne. I'm going to find that person and be angry at them in Minecraft. Anything with Catherine. Besides Shamir, I don't know. Ignatz and Mercedes. I've never used Ignatz. I'm sorry. Marianne and Ash. If they do support, it's probably the cutest support ever. Not gonna lie. They do support! Oh my gosh, yes! Ooh. Oh, they're so good. Oh my gosh, they're so good. Oh my gosh, that was so good. Oh. There's just so much goodness. That gets a lovely, because it's just, how could it not be? That was very special. Thank you for introducing me to that. Whoever said Marianne and Ash, thank you, says Peter. Just blessings on Marianne and Ash. What would their wedding song be? Because it can't be 3 Days Grace. It's probably like it has to be something between metal and like soft pop. Hilda and Annette? I've never heard of that one. Oh wait, yes I have. Yes I have. Yeah, they have a B support. It's like sweet. Yeah, they like take a nap. Peter says, Ash asked Marianne what made her choose to help him in the first place. She simply smiled and said that she decided to make supporting him her dream. Oh! Love. Only love for those two. I am happy. I am content. My plants are watered. They napped, yes. Alright, I think we're slowly running out of pairings here. We are on line 70. I don't want to end on 69 pairings. I'm not like that. Marianne and Annette, do they support? They don't support. How am I supposed to have my ship without its support? I like how mages, they have to, like, learn math. It's great. Like, apparently they all have to learn advanced math. I'm tired, says, Dimmy left boring? Bro, you're breaking my heart. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, it's just very, very common. I'm sure you could make it interesting, it's just the things I've seen from it are just kind of commonplace. Come on, where's So This on my phone? So This. One of my friends probably has it. There's a lot of weird stuff on my phone. Everything in my slideshow was just from my phone. And it's only gonna get bigger. Because those were just like the ones I thought were fitting. It's not the rest of the 737 images. There's some stuff on here from the pre-Three Houses days. The simpler times. Remember Fate? Fates? Like, Fates just always feels like a weird fever dream to me. I don't think that game actually existed. I think we all had, like, the same hallucination. Dimitri and Annette. Now you're just making things up. I'm sure they support, but yeah, they support. They have force supports. I feel like there's a bit of awkwardness because, like, Annette's dad cared about Dimitri more than he cared about Annette. It was, like, okay. Like, I just read it. It was, like, fine. It was kind of neutral on it. Lysia and Raphael. You're really just throwing things at me here. I think Lysia is an honorary Black Eagle. You know, like they just kind of belong together, all of them. That was pretty cute. Death Knight and Bernadetta. Lots of Raphael in this. Also, Dimitri and Annette was a little boring, I'm not gonna lie. Death Knight and Bernadetta. Oh yeah, doesn't she, like, support with Yuritsa or something? Or, like, don't they have some sort of connection? A lot of people are connected with Bernadetta. Yeah, they do. This is actually kind of cute. Manuela and Edelgard. You're right, that is incredibly cringe. I'm not even gonna touch that one. This is nice, is actually cute. I'm just gonna rename that. I think it's more accurate. Manuela, Dorothea, that's also disgusting. So I can put that down as disgusting and cringe. I don't like that one. Some things just feel wrong. Manuela X the sandwich on the floor that's been there for 4 seconds. 5-second rule. I forgot how to spell Bullcut's name. It's Lorenz. Lorenz. All Lorenz ships are kind of disgusting by nature of it being Lorenz. I don't know, I haven't actually gone into most of his supports. Maybe there are some, like, diamonds in the rough there. Flane Jadu, Flane and Dimitri. Oh my gosh, Flane... I don't really ship Flane with anyone because she's Babby, but, like, those are so cute. Flane's so cute. Flane and Jadu, when she calls him Chef Dettles, that is, like, a high point of the game. It is so good. But like, platonically. I don't know if I feel comfortable pairing them together. Ah. Yankees scored. That's good. What's a good ship that feels like opposites attract? Oh, well, a lot of the Fujo ones are kind of that by definition. Like, to be a Fujo ship, you have to be invoking opposites attract. Let's see. I mean, there's a lot of pairings on here you could say that with. That's like every Hubert ship. That's like... a lot of Raphael's pairings. It's like a lot of Bernadetta's pairings. Felix, it's a good one. Dedu and Felix. I'm like very neutral on that. I don't know anything about that. Alright, I think I'm going to start wrapping up the stream soon. We have had a lot of fun. We covered 73 ships. It's a lot. So I think next week I'm going to do Ruby ship appraisals, which is a lot more fun because actually it is a lot less fun because there's no good Ruby characters that are alive anymore. Rip Watts and Rip Ironwood. Or I could do dog breed appraisals. I really like dogs. And I know a lot of people like dogs. I have opinions about certain breeds of dogs. Again, I don't know if they're as hot takes. I think my takes on Labradoodles are pretty hot. But I don't know, chat. What do you want? What do you want to see? When I do stream, it will be same time. It will be Wednesday, 8 p.m. Unless otherwise noted. I might get a Twitter just to announce things. I don't know for sure. Because, I don't want to be back on Twitter. Alright, I got some for dogs, I got some for Ruby. Thank you for this fun stream, Miss Rhymemaster. I don't know what a Three Houses is, but I agree with you 100% on what you said about these characters. Thank you, Nami Nom Noms. It's a great name. I appreciate the support. It wouldn't really be hot takes about dogs. I would just kind of give, what I like about each dog breed. Maybe talk about some rare dog breeds out there that don't get enough love. Ruby would be painful. Yeah, imagine making you guys sit here for 2 hours listening to me say well that one's boring, that one's also boring, that one's boring, that one's boring. Because let's be real here. Are you allowed to use the Premiere feature? I don't know. I'm still learning all this stuff. I'm not entirely sure. Been there, done that with Ruby. Yes, next week we will be discussing dogs. And I hope everybody tunes in for that because, who doesn't like discussing dogs? Maybe I'll do Ruby the week after that. We could talk about I don't know, we could just go through random Ruby fanfics. That's always fun because, oof. Did you know that you could find any AU for Ruby? All of them exist. You could have Macadamia Nut AU, and it's probably out there. But yeah, we are almost at 2 hours, and I want to go to sleep soon, so I'm going to call the stream. Thank you all for joining in.